All right, everyone, welcome back. You know what time it is, right? It's time to dive deep into a new book, and today we're tackling Onyx Storm, the third book in the Empyrean series.
Yeah, so whether you're like me and have already devoured this book or you're trying to decide if it's worth adding to your TBR pile, we're going to break it all down for you. No spoilers, of course, but we will give you all the juicy details to get you ready for book 4.
So for those who haven't started the series yet, the world of the Empyrean is basically built around these incredible dragon riders. And Onyx Storm really takes us to the heart of their society in Navarre, where these riders are basically the top dogs. Like, imagine a world where fighter pilots were also the celebrities and politicians.
Right, like in Navarre, dragon riders aren't just mythical heroes, they are the military, the elite, the ones who hold all the power. It's a pretty wild concept when you think about it.
Yeah, and that power dynamic plays a huge role in Onyx Storm. Our protagonist, Violet Sorrengail, is actually the daughter of one of the most powerful figures in Navarre, General Sorrengail.
Talk about pressure, right? Like, not only is she trying to prove herself as a dragon rider at the War College, but she's also dealing with the legacy and expectations of her mother.
Exactly. And it's not like she has it easy at the War College either. She kind of starts out feeling like she doesn't quite fit in, especially compared to some of the other, more naturally gifted writers.
Plus, she's got the whole saving the world thing on her plate, too, with the Venin and all.
Oh, right, the Venin. For anyone who hasn't read the books, the Venin are these terrifying creatures that are basically like the ultimate bad guys, and they pose a serious threat to Navarre.
And that's where the whole dragon rider thing gets really interesting, because the bond between a rider and their dragon is like the key to defeating the Venin.
Oh, absolutely. And that bond is explored in such a beautiful way in Onyx Storm. It's not just about, fighting in battles. It's about trust, loyalty, and this almost spiritual connection between two beings.
And honestly, for me, that's one of the things that sets Onyx Storm apart from other books in this genre. It's not just about the action, it's about the relationships, the emotional depth, and the sacrifices these characters make for each other.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Like, just thinking about some of the choices Violet has to make between her duty to Navarre, her loyalty to her friends, and of course her feelings for a certain brooding dragon rider.
Oh, are we talking about Gaiden now?
We can't talk about Onyx Storm without mentioning Xaden Rierson, right? He's got that whole mysterious bad boy thing going on, but there's so much more to him than that.
Yeah, he's definitely not your typical love interest.
Yeah.
His past is really complex, and it kind of makes him question everything he thought he knew about Navarre and the people in power.
And that ties back into the whole theme of power and corruption, which is so prevalent in Onyx Storm. Like, you start to see how the actions of those in authority can have these huge ripple effects on everyone else, even the dragon riders.
It definitely makes you think about the responsibility that comes with power and how easily it can be abused.
Right. And for Violet, who's trying to navigate all of this while also figuring out her own place in the world, it's just like a constant struggle.
It's interesting, though, because while she might start out feeling a bit lost by the end of Onyx Storm, Violet really comes into her own. She discovers her strength, her courage, and what she's willing to fight for.
Yeah, she goes through some serious character development in this book.
Yeah.
It's actually quite inspiring to see how she overcomes her doubts and steps up to face these incredible challenges.
And that's what I love about this series in general. It's not just a fun fantasy adventure, it's also a story about growth, resilience, and the power of human connection, and of course, the power of dragons.
Definitely. So what do you think? Will Violet and the other dragon riders be able to defeat the Venin? Can the bond between rider and dragon truly conquer the darkness that's threatening Navarre?
Well, for that, you'll have to read Onyx Storm and find out. But I will say, the way this book ends, it leaves you with so many questions and possibilities for the future.
That's for sure. It definitely sets the stage for an epic conclusion in Book 4.
Absolutely.
So there you have it, folks, our deep dive into Onyx Storm. If you haven't already, we highly recommend checking out this book and the entire Empyrean series. It's a wild ride, filled with dragons, romance, political intrigue, and some seriously thought-provoking themes.
You won't regret it.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in our next deep dive.